brothers and sisters, put your hands together for Apocalypse.
Peace. Here we go. Another day from the desk of Apocalypse. Dogs of God's Entertainment. With a quick word of reflection. What is that word of reflection on? What else is it, or could it even be on, except the Swan Song? The Swan Song. We're in the Swan Song season. You know, I'm reflecting on words from Allah through the Mr. Louis Farrakhan from the Swan Song. You know, he talked about connecting to the giver of gifts. You know, he also talked about how there's not one of us that are not born with greatness and with gifts from Allah. And then knowing and determining and discovering the purpose of the gifts that Allah has blessed us with. It's so much. You know, he talked about the ancestors, you know, and their longing, you know, their suffering. And then up to this point, us being the strongest of the strong, them longing for a generation who will not bow and bend. You know, it's just so much. So in reflection, you know, I can reflect on certain ancestors. You know, we could go back, you know, in terms of ancestors, but I often think of my great-grandfather, Columbus Price, you know, who him and his brothers, they acquired land. You know, they fed their family from the land. See, they knew that one day that they will no longer be here. So what could they leave for the next generation? You know what I'm saying? And so we don't have to go back so far to reflect on ancestors. You know, what about the recent ancestors that we could connect to? What were their prayers? You know what I mean? And the Mr. Louis Farrakhan has often taught on, and he touched on in the Swan Song, how our longing for change. We pray and people are born into the world as an answer to our prayers. He talked about the challenge in the womb at the release, you know, at the release of the sperm into the vaginal tract in that hostile environment, with hundreds of millions to billions of cells going after the same destination, which is to fertilize that egg. And each one of us, being the strongest of the strong, determined to answer the call of Allah, to fertilize that egg, to come to this side of life, to serve a purpose, to serve the purpose that our fingerprint is on. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just so much. You know, when our Mr. Farrakhan talked about that being our song, I mean, how many notes? Man, there's so many notes in the Swan Song. So many notes. Close to 4.5 hours of notes in the Swan Song that were tailor-made for me. How about you? Because it's so much to draw from. The word, man, if the trees, Minister Ishmael said this Sunday, if the trees were pens and all the seas were ink, and with more seas added, you know what I mean? We can't exhaust the wisdom of Allah. So we can't exhaust the wisdom from the one who was made to master the circumstance, master the enemy himself. Come on now. So the reflection, my reflection of the Swan Song in the mirror of truth, man, keeps me busy in this mind, between these ears, so that we can continue to grow from the word of Allah physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, economically, intellectually, so that, we can become that living perpendicular that Mustafa Muhammad produced in the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that the two of them are producing in the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the three of them are producing in us, that our minds become one with their minds, so that we are one mind, and so that we are actually growing and striving and building a world of righteousness. So good God Almighty. Look, just a few words from the man of God can really, within 8 minutes and 20 seconds, can quicken the spirit of Allah in no limit of time, man, to cause us to move, and then he talked about love, man. How can you, I'm not quoting, but you say you serve a prophet, but your love is weak. Your love is shallow. You say you serve God, or you are with God, and your love is fickle and shallow and weak. What love? Love for self. What love? Love for one another. What love? Love for the purpose of us pooling our efforts, pooling our resources, pooling our energy, pooling our talent, pooling our everything to establish all that we need and all that we desire in the name of Allah. Man, it's ours. It's ours as soon as we decide. Not just decide, because after you make a decision, that's the first step in my book, make a decision. Do you know you can make a decision, right? And then in an instant, change your mind? You know that, right? Of course you know that. We do it all the time. Thought travels so fast, 24 billion miles per second on average. So that's why it's so important that when we make a decision, to move on it quickly. Swiftly. Otherwise, man, you'll sit there long in a short time and change your mind, and then forget about the true desire of your heart to accomplish this or to accomplish that, or to at least go after this and go after that. You know what I mean? So make the decision and then roll with it. The second step, find the love. Find the love in your heart for yourself to achieve what you believe your purpose is. Come on now. Listen, man. I'm fired up, so I'm fired up. So, hey, this shirt say, beam me up. Hey, back in the day, beam me up, Scotty, meant something altogether different. But right now, beam me up, man. Beam me up into the mind of God, man. Beam me up into the classroom of the universe, man, to become all that Allah created me to be. Hey, that's our word today from the Death of Apocalypse. Man, the Swan Song is creating harmony. Hey, if you're in Chicago, we're at the foodie spot, 7350 South Stony Island Avenue. Come on through, show us some love, show us some support. Hey, Walking the Road to Recovery audio book is available at it's on Audible. You can go to Amazon for sure. For now, we just uploaded. We waiting on Find a Way Voices to give me the go ahead, because it's gonna be on 42 different platforms, outlets, or what have you. Through that platform, it's gonna be on 42 different outlets. We working, man. We using, Reverend Wilson taught me, man, in the 80s. Start where you at, use what you got, do what you do best. That's where we at with it. What else we gonna do? In order to maintain or obtain and maintain a level of freedom with joy in your heart along the way, start where you're at, use what you got, do what you do best. That's our word today from the Desert Park. Peace.